Hello, kamusta tayo lahat? I praise the Almighty Father for even before He created this world, He was doing mighty things, and up to now, He's doing magnificent, awesome, amazing, wonderful deeds, all for His glorious name, the name above all names. Our Father Yahweh, He's powerful. He created this world. And so every day, we must be grateful for all the blessings that He bestows on us every day. And I'm thankful of the blood of Jesus Christ that was shed on the cross for the forgiveness of my sins and for the forgiveness of your sins as well, because Jesus Christ died for all. He died for the sinners. We are all sinners, but with the blood of Jesus Christ, we are cleansed from our wicked deeds and iniquities. And I'm thankful of the Holy Spirit for His gifts and for His fruits, showering us with blessings every now and then, reminding us to do righteous deeds, reminding us to pray to our Father and to pray to Jesus Christ and to love our brethren. He's comforting us. And never will He leave us, just like our Father and Jesus Christ, unless of course we sin against our Father. So last time you read Judges chapter 16, it's about Samson and Delilah. So Samson here, if you notice, he was an impatient person, impulsive. He knew that the strength that he had was from the Almighty Father. Alam niya yun. At kung makikita natin ito, nabasa natin, once lang nag-pray. See? Samson, yung latter part na ng life niya, nung nakalbo na siya at nung tumubo ang kanyang buhok, doon na siya nakapag-isip. Natanggal yung kanyang pride. Naging humble siya. And the Lord purposed that to happen, to give justice to His children, because the Philistines were wicked. Kaya nabigyan ng justice ang mga Israelites because of the works of the Almighty Father through Samson. So marami ng mga judges ang pinadala ni Almighty Father dito sa Book of Judges. At makikita natin dito na yung ugali ng tao. No? Dati pa rin, may mukhang pera. Hanggang ngayon, may mga taong mukhang pera pa din. Ibibetray nila ang kanilang mga brethren just for money. Just for fame, just for power. Akala ng mga Philistines, si Dagon na kanilang false gods ang nagbigay sa kanila kay Samson. Hindi nila alam, si Almighty Father, may plano siya. And all things work together for good to those who love the Lord. So tayo rin, may plano sa atin si Almighty Father. May mga bagay tayo na mga na-experience, heartaches and pains. But because we love the Father, the Holy God, He will make those unfortunate events wonderful, because our Father is powerful and mighty. He can turn around results. And up to now, He's still the same. Up to now, He answers prayers. So this week lang, may hinihiling ako kay Almighty Father. And I heard a voice behind my ear saying, sabi ni Almighty Father sa akin, tomorrow, ibibigay ko sa'yo. So, kinabukasan, pagising ko, nakalimutan ko na. At ibinigay ni Almighty Father, naalala ko, ito nga pala yung hinihiling ko kay Almighty Father. Ibinigay ni Almighty Father. I heard Him. Bukas, ibibigay ko. Kinabukasan, nakalimutan ko. Hindi nakakalimutan ni Almighty Father. Yung kanyang mga promises, tayo nalilimutan natin yung mga promises natin kay Almighty Father. Pero siya, hindi niya nalilimutan. Ganun magmahal si Almighty Father. So ngayon na babasahin natin is Judges chapter 17. And it's about Micah's idolatry. Micah, ang ibig sabihin ng Micah, who is a coward or who's dimming. Yung Michael, who is like God, or Michael. May letter L yon. Ito, walang letter L to. Kundi M-I-C-A lang. Walang letter L. Na kahit na magkamukha sila, wala namang letter L na nakalagay dito. So, iba ang meaning nito. It means, who's a coward or who's dimming. So, basahin natin, Now, there was a man from the mountains of Ephraim. Pag binabanggit yung Ephraim or from the mountains of Ephraim, ibig sabihin, Ephraimite siya or he's from the tribe of Ephraim, whose name was Micah. And he said to his mother, so may mother si Micah, He said to his mother, the 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from you and on which you put a curse, even saying it in my ears, here's the silver with me, I took it. So ito si Micah, kumuha siya ng 1,100 shekels of silver or 1,100 shekels of silver. So ang value nito, kung sa ngayon, mga $300,000 US dollars. So malaki, yung value. At nilagyan niya ng curse ng kanyang nanay. Kung sino man ang kumuha ng pera na yun, mamatay na siya kasi nilagyan ng curse. Di ba nanakawan yung nanay niya? So siya ang kumuha. So ibinalik niya. And on which you put a curse, sabi ni Micah. Dun sa nanay niya, nilagyan mo ng curse yung pera. Sabi mo, kung sino man ang kumuha ng pera, kung mamatay na siya. Hindi man niya na nakalagay, kundi may curse kasi. Even saying it in my ears. Kahit dinig na dinig ko. Dinig na dinig ko, nilagyan mo ng curse. Hindi mo man sinabi na ako yon, nilagyan mo ng curse, even saying it in my ears. Here is the silver with me. Ito yung silver, kinuha ko, akong kumuha. I took it. Inamin ni Micah. And his mother said, may you be blessed by the Lord, my son. Nag-thank you yung nanay niya, dahil ibinalik niya yung pera, pagpalain ka ng Diyos, anak ko, sabi ni mother ni Micah. So si Micah ay isang lalaki. So when he had returned 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother said, I had wholly dedicated the silver from my hand to the Lord for my son. Ito kasing silver na to, sabi ni ng mother ni Micah, dinededicate ko to para sa anak ko. Galing to kay Almighty Father, yung pera na to, itong mga silver na to. Galing sa kamay ni Almighty Father, dinededicate ko to sa anak ko. To make a carved image and a molded image. Now therefore, I will return it to you. Para gumawa ako ng carved image or ipagawa kita ng carved image or molded image. Meaning, idols, no? Yung image or imahe. Carved, ibig sabihin inukit. Molded, nakamolde. Nilagyan ng molde. Iba yung carved sa molded. Maroon tayong gumawa ng molded, no? Ng molde. Doon at lalagyan nyo ng binubuhusan ng material. Tapos pagtanggal mo ng molde, ayun, buo na. Ngayon pag carved naman, kahoy naman, uukitin mo, korteng tao or korteng kung ano man ang gusto mong korte. Yun ang carved. Now therefore, I will return it to you. Sabi ng anak ng nanay. Sabi ni Micah, ibabalik ko sa iyo. Thus he returned the silver to his mother. Binalik niya yung silver sa kanyang nanay. Then his mother took 200 shekels of silver. Binawasan ng nanay niya yung 1,100 shekels of silver. Kumuha siya ng 200 shekels of silver yung nanay niya and gave them to the silversmith. So kung 200 shekels of silver ang kinuha niya, so more or less, sa ngayon ang presyo nito, mga 25 to 30,000 US dollars. And gave them to the silversmith. Ibinigay sa silversmith, binayaran yung silversmith. May ipapagawa kasi yung nanay ni Micah sa silversmith. Kasi ang pera noon, silver gawa. Ngayon, ang pera ngayon gawa saan ba? Tingga ba? Or bronze? Hindi na bronze eh. Marami ng alloy pero konti lang. Kung may silver man or kung may bronze, konti lang, no? Dati gawa sa gold or dati gawa sa silver. Ngayon paano na pa-deteriorate na yung paggawa ng pera. Ngayon papel na lang. Walang value yung papel. Tapos sometimes na nasa bangko, digital na lang, makikita mo na lang sa internet. Wala nang value. And he made it into a carved image and a molded image. So, sa dalawang klase ang ipinagawa ng nanay ni Micah. Carved image at saka molded image. And they were in the house of Micah. At yun ay nakadisplay sa bahay ni Micah. Verse 5. The man, Micah, had a shrine. Meron siyang shrine. Shrine means altar or sanctuary. Merong sa bahay ni Micah, merong altar or sanctuary, and made an ephod. Yung ephod, alam na natin yung ephod, no? Nagkaroon ng kasalanan si Gideon because he created or he made an ephod out of gold. Yung ephod, mukha siyang apron. Alam naman natin pag apron, ibig sabihin nun, servitude, servant. Ngayon, si Almighty Father, nagpagawa siya ng ephod. Pero, ginaya ni Gideon, ginaya ni Micah. Yung ephod, suot-suot ito ng mga high priest. Merong go signal si Almighty Father pag high priest. Pero, yung kay Gideon, sinamba ng mga tao, walang go signal si Almighty Father noon. So that's idolatry. Ngayon, itong si Micah, ganun din, ephod din. Itong ephod, no, nakalagay ito sa Exodus chapter 28. Ito ay inutos ni Almighty Father kay Moses para isuot ng mga high priest. Sa Exodus chapter 28, they shall take the gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and the fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen artistically worked. It shall have two shoulder straps joined at its two edges, and so it shall be joined together. So, yung pagkaka-describe dito, mukha siyang apron. At kung i-check nyo yung picture over the internet, kung anong itsura ng ephod, mukha siyang apron, di ba? Pero yung pagkaka-describe lang dito, pero yung itsura, hindi natin alam yung original na itsura. Kasi nga, noon wala namang picture, wala namang magdo-drawing, no? Kaya lang nila nagagawa itong ephod, it's because merong nakatingin si Almighty Father, oh yan, tama yan. At meron siyang inassign na tao na gagawa ng ephod. So yung tao na yun, binigyan niya ng knowledge para maigawa kung ano yung gusto ni Almighty Father. Ngayon, ginaya ni Gideon na naging kasalanan yon dahil ginaya yon at sinamba ni Gideon at ng kanyang mga kasamahan. Ngayon, si Micah naman gumawa rin ng ephod, ng shrine, and household idols or teraphim. Gumawa siya ng, yung teraphim or household idols, ito yung mga carved image and molded image. Teraphim. Iba ang cherubim sa seraphim sa teraphim, no? Yung cherubim, yun yung 4 living creatures na kamukha ng seraphim. Ngayon, itong teraphim, ito ay molded image or carved image. Idols to, na meron din si yung asawa ni David, si Michael, at si Rachel. May mga idols sila. So, itong si Michael, hindi siya nagkaanak. Dahil sumasamba siya sa idols. Hindi binigyan siya ng Almighty Father ng anak. Hindi sa kanya galing yung si Solomon, kundi dun kay Bathsheba. Ngayon, itong si Rachel, nahirapan siyang magbuntis at mag-anak, diba? It's because of the teraphim also. At saka, hindi kay Joseph, hindi kay Benjamin, hindi kay Manasseh, hindi kay Ephraim galing ang Lion of the tribe of Judah na si Jesus Christ, kundi sa tribe ni Judah. Hindi anilaw ni Almighty Father. Nasa kanila manggaling yung panggagalingan na lineage ni Jesus Christ. Pag gumawa ka kasi ng shrine or altar, hindi yun tama noong time nito, no? Hindi tama yun. Kasi yung sa time ni Joshua, gumawa ng altar, replica ang mga tribe ni Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh dun sa may malapit sa River Jordan. Natatandaan niyo ba, sinugod ng mga iba't ibang mga tribes yung Gad, Reuben, at saka half the tribe of Manasseh dahil sa kanilang ginawang altar, replica. Sinabi naman, di ba nila, na hindi nila sasambahin yun, kundi replica lang yun as a memorial na sila ay kasali sa tribe of Israel or children of Israel. Kaya nila ginawa yun. Ngayon, itong si Micah, meron siyang shrine. So, ang purpose nito para sumamba. Sambahin ang mga idols at ang ephod na hindi naman inuutos ni Almighty Father. So, gumawa siya ng sarili lang niya. Ulitin natin ang verse 5. The man Micah had a shrine and made an ephod and household idols or carved image and molded image. And he consecrated one of his sons who became his priest. Isa sa mga anak ni Micah, inatasan niya bilang isang priest para mag-officiate sa kanya, para may sarili siya. May sarili siyang altar, may sarili siyang shrine or sanctuary. Hindi naman iyon walang go signal si Almighty Father. At saka makikita natin household idols. Ayaw ni Almighty Father ng household idols or graven images. And up to now, ayaw ni Almighty Father ng mga idols. Sinasamba ng mga tao, pinapahiran pa ng panyo, no? O hinihimas-himas pa. May nakita ako sa internet. Lalaki siya. May hawak siyang paa. Yung paa na yun, parang rubber na. Pero, galing yun sa totoong paa ng tao. Paa lang siya, hiwa, totoong paa siya. Wala nang dugo. Hindi ko alam. At dahil sa nakababad sa formalin yun, rubberized na ang itsura niya. Hindi siya nabubulok. Ngayon yung mga tao, nasa gilid-gilid, nagbabantay. Tapos yung paa nung, hindi ko alam kung anong klase, kung kaninong paa yun. Cadaver na yun eh. Or cadaver na. Pero paa lang siya. Inilublob sa tubig. Tapos yung mga tao naman naghiyawan, kumuha ng tubig, inuwi nila, nag-aagawan sila sa tubig. Hindi ko alam kung kayo ng paa yun. So that's demonic. Hindi yun inuutos ni Almighty Father. Kaya kahit sino mang santo, gagawa nyo ng ganon. Sasabihin nyo, nagmimilagro. Hindi ganon. Hindi ganon magmilagro si Almighty Father. Demonic yun. Imagine, katawan na ng tao yun, tapos kukunin mo yung paa, tapos ilulublob mo, tapos kukunin mo yung parang sabaw na kukunin mo yung tubig, ipapaligo mo ba, iinumin mo ba yun? Ba't ganon? Hindi ganon yan. Hindi ganon yung gusto ni Almighty Father. Katas ng paa na putol na matagal ng patay, ilulublob mo. Ano ba yan? Uncleanness na, literal na uncleanness na yon, and spiritual uncleanness yon. Dito tayo, verse 6, in those days, there was no king in Israel. So wala naghahari sa Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Kanya-kanyang diskarte ang mga tao. Walang mga magbabawal sa kanila. Walang king, no? Verse 7. No, there was a young man from Bethlehem in Judah, of the family of Judah. He was a Levite and was staying there. Merong isang batang lalaki or ano na siya, mga 20s na, young man na. Galing siya sa Bethlehem sa Judah. Pero siya ay Levite. Dahil nga wala silang mana or inheritance na lupa, yung Levite, hindi niya siyempre lupain yun, kundi lupain ng Judah yun. Nag-i-stay ngayon tong Levite na to, dito kay Micah. The man departed from the city of Bethlehem in Judah to stay wherever he could find a place. No, sa verse 8. So naghahanap ng lugar kung saan siya pwedeng tumira. And then he came to the mountains of Ephraim. So, para siyang vagabond. Kasi nga, walang inheritance na lupa ang mga tribe of Levi. And then he came to the mountains of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, as he journeyed. So naghahanap-hanap siya ng kanyang matitirhan, kung saan siya pwede. Dahil binigyan naman ni Almighty Father ng approval, kung kahit saan tumira ang mga Levites, tanggapin. Yun ang utos ni Almighty Father. Verse 9, and Micah said to him, where do you come from? In-interview na siya ni Micah. So he said to him, I'm a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah. Galing ako sa Bethlehem, dun sa Judah. Pero Levite ako. And I am on my way to find a place to stay. Naghanap ako ng lugar kung saan ako pwedeng maging tumira. Hindi natin alam kung dahilan kung bakit siya umalis ng Bethlehem, yung Levite na to. Pero, ang sabi niya, gusto niyang maghanap ng ibang place. Hindi natin alam kung baka may nakaaway siya ron or nasisikipan na siya dun sa Bethlehem. Verse 10, Micah said to him, dwell with me and be a father and a priest to me. Dahil nalaman ni Micah na isang Levite, yung lalaking bata. And I will give you 10 shekels of silver per year. Bibigyan kita ng 10 shekels of silver. Isang taon. It's like sweldo. A suit of clothes. Meron pa akong padamit. Bibigyan pa kita ng damit. and your sustenance. At meron ka pa rin, ano man tawag doon? Meron kang baon. Pag taon-taon, ano yun? Merong donation ako ibibigay sa'yo. Sustenance, pagkain, damit, at ano-ano pa. Pero maliban doon, meron kang 10 shekels of silver per year. Para itong cost of living allowance, no? Meron siyang allowance every week ba to kung kailan ang bigay na itong sustenance niya. Pero every year, 10 shekels of silver, maliban pa sa damit. So, the Levite went in. So, pumayag yung Levite kasi may 10 shekels of silver na siya a year, tapos may damit pa siya, tapos may pakain pa, di ba? Then the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man became like one of his sons to him. Masaya naman yung Levite dun sa bahay ni Micah. Naging part na siya ng family dahil siya nga yung ginawang priest ni Micah. Pag sinabing ginawa siyang priest ni Micah, kahit na may mga ephod doon na hindi naman binigyan ng go signal ni Almighty Father, siya ang nag-officiate kung ano man ang pinapagawa, ang ginagawa ng isang Levite. So, hindi to legal kay Almighty Father dahil ang Ark of the Covenant or Ark of the Tabernacle nasa Shiloh. So, wickedness to in the eyes of the Almighty Father. Yung ginawa ni Micah, pati na rin tong Levite na to. Verse 12. So, Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest and lived in the house of Micah. Feeling ni Micah na powerful na siya dahil nga siya nagpagawa ng altar, meron na siyang mga sariling sasambahin. Ganon, di ba? May mga taong ganon, papagawa ko sarili kong simbahan o sarili kong altar para na ako, mayaman na ako, mamahalin na ako ni Almighty Father. Hindi ganon. That's selfishness, that's greediness, that's you want things na para lang sa'yo. Selfish ka. Gusto mo ng accolades. Gusto mo ng i-celebrate ka ng mga tao. Hindi yung gusto ni Almighty Father. Verse 13. Then Micah said, "Now I know that the Lord will be good to me, since I have a Levite as a priest." Ngayon alam ko na si Almighty Father magiging mabuti na siya sa akin kasi meron akong Levite as a priest. Nagkakamali si Micah. Mali siya ng akala. So dito tayo sa Judges chapter 18. In those days, there was no king in Israel. So, walang king ang Israel ng mga panahon na to. Ang meron lang sa kanila mga judges. Pero walang binanggit na mga judge dito, no? And in those days, the tribe of the Danites was seeking an inheritance for itself to dwell in. At nung mga panahon na yon, yung tribe of Dan, yung mga Danites, naghahanap sila ng kanilang sariling lupa. May lupa na sila, pero hindi nila makuha. For until that day, their inheritance was among the tribes of Israel, had not fallen to them. Hindi pa rin nakukuha ng kanilang inheritance. Nabasa natin yun, di ba, natakot sila? Yung tribe of Dan. Sa may Book of Joshua ba yun? Sino ko? Hindi nila nakuha yung kanilang inheritance. Saan ba yung verse na yun sa Joshua? Tuloy muna natin to, no? Kaya nga sila, itong si Samson, nakatira siya sa Mahane Dan or Camp of Dan. Kasi nga, wala pa silang lupa. Kaya sa kampo lang sila nakatira. Na malapit sa Judah. So ito naghahanap yung tribe of Dan ng kanilang makukuhang lupain. Verse 2, so the children of Dan sent 5 men of their family from their territory, men of valor from Zorah and Eshtaol. Itong Zorah and Eshtaol, nabanggit na to sa Judges chapter 16 verse 31. Na dito inilibing si Samson, no? And his brothers and all his fathers, his household came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the tomb of his father Manoah. He had judged Israel 20 years. Itong si Samson. So, nung time ni Samson, wala pa rin silang lupain. Tuloy natin ito, verse 2 of Judges chapter 18. So, the children of Dan sent 5 men of their family from their territory, men of valor from Zorah and Eshtaol, to spy out the land and search it. They said to them, go search the land. So they went to the mountains of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, and lodged there. Nag-stay sila sa bahay ni Micah, lodging place. Napadaan sila sa mountains of Ephraim, nakita nila yung house ni Micah na lodging place. Doon sila nag-stay. Kasi naghahanap sila ng kanilang inheritance na lupain. Verse 3. While they were at the house of Micah, they recognized the voice of the young Levite. Habang nasa bahay sila ni Micah, napakinggan nila yung boses ng isang Levite, yung yung priest ni Micah. Hindi nila na-recognize na kamag-anak nila, no? Kundi na-recognize nila yung accent. Kasi bawat tribe may kanya-kanyang accent, 'di ba? Yung tribe of Ephraim may accent din 'yon. Hindi nila ma-pronounce yung Shibboleth. Oh. Kaya alam nito ng tribe of Dan na yung may accent, yung young Levite. Kaya ito ibig sabihin nila itong ibig sabihin na while they were at the house of Micah, they recognized the voice of the young Levite. Hindi nila namukhaan, pero yung boses, na-recognize nila na may accent, di ba? Na kahit na pareho ang language, iba yung pagkakasalita. Example, no, pag may nakikita ako dito na pag namimit ako na nagde-deliver, magpa-deliver ako. Nagsalita. Sabi magkano sukli mo? Yung ganon, accent yun ng ng mga taga-Kalumpit, gano'n, or taga-Malolo. So, ikaw taga saan ka? Taga ano ka ba? Taga gatong lugar ka ba? Oo, ba't alam mo? Kasi alam ko, meron kang punto. Punto yung tawag, no? Or accent sa English. Sa Tagalog may punto. Kaya nalalaman ko kung saan lugar yung tao. Example, pag Bisaya, alam ko rin yung accent. Pag Ilonggo, alam ko na lahat yung accent ng Ilonggo, no? Ganon, may accent yung Ilonggo. Pag Batanggenya naman, ay siya. Alam ko naman, may ganon, may accent. Kaya nare-recognize mo. Sila din ito. Yung, itong tribe of Dan, yung mga spy, na-recognize nila yung accent ng young Levite. They turned aside and said to him, who brought you here? Sino nagdala sa'yo dito? Ibang accent mo, taga ano ka, di ba? Galing ka ng Judah. What are you doing in this place? Bakit ka napunta rito? Anong ginagawa mo rito? Anong meron ba dito? Bakit dito ka nag-stay? No? Who brought you here? What are you doing in this place? What do you have here? So, hindi nila ito kilala personally, pero nakilala lang na through accent or punto. May punto yung salita niya. Verse 4, he said to them, thus and so Micah did for me. He has hired me, and I have become his priest. Kasi nga Levite siya, di ba? Naging priest ako ni Micah. Binabayaran niya ako. Dito ako nakatira. Meron akong monthly allowance. May libreng damit. Verse 5. So they said to him, please inquire of God, that we may know whether the journey on which we go will be prosperous. Magtanong ka, pagtanong mo kay Almighty Father, nang malaman namin kung yung lakad ba namin magiging prosperous ba, kung magpa-prosper ba kami sa aming lakad. So 5 tao yon, 5 men sila na mga spy para magharap ng kanilang lupain. Verse 6, and the priest said to them, go in peace. The presence of the Lord be with you on your way. Sabi nung young man na priest na Levite. Verse 7, so the 5 men departed and went to Laish. Laish means lion. Yung Laish ay city of the Sidonians in the extreme north of Philistines. Bandang itaas, Sidonians, no? Kung i-check niyo yung mapa, nasa gilid din siya. Mediterranean Sea. Malapit na sa Lebanon. Ay, hindi pa malapit sa Lebanon. Medyo baba pa ng konti. I-check nyo na lang yung mapa, no? Pero nasa, ano siya, sa may dagat. Katabi ng dagat, Mediterranean Sea. They saw the people who were there. So, nag-spy sila. Nakita nila yung lugar sa Laish. How they dwelt safely. Safe yung mga tao, nakita nila, in the manner of the Sidonians. Quiet and secure. Tahimik lang yung mga tao na ninirahan sa Sidonians. There were no rulers in the land who might put them to shame for anything. Walang naghahari o namamayani sa lupa na kanilang inispayan or chinek, no? Walang leader. Kundi nakatira lang ng tahimik doon yung mga Sidonians. They were far from the Sidonians and they had no ties with anyone. Hindi sila konektado sa anumang mga tribe or kung anumang mga clan or family. Hindi sila Ashkelonites, wala. Basta tahimik na naninirahan yung mga tao. Walang namumuno, walang mga warriors. Verse 8, then the spies came back to their brethren at Zorah and Eshtaol. Bumalik yung mga spies, yung 5 lalaki, sa Zorah and Eshtaol. And their brethren said to them, what is your report? Ano ang report nyo sa amin? Okay ba sa lugar na pinuntahan ninyo? Verse 9, so they said, arise, let us go up against them. Halika na, punta na tayo doon, balik na tayo. Sabi ng 5 spies. For we have seen the land, and indeed it is very good. Nakita namin yung lugar, ang ganda ng lugar. Sabi ng 5 spies. Would you do nothing? Do not hesitate to go and enter to possess the land. Puntahan na natin yung lugar, balikan na natin. Ariin na natin yung lugar. Atin na yun, ipopossess na natin yung land. When you go, you will come to a secure people and a large land. For God has given it into your hands. A place where there is no lack of anything that is on the earth. Ibig sabihin, abundant yung lupain. May mga pananim, ganon. Tsaka maraming pananim at pwedeng taniman. Pwedeng i-plow yung lupa. Pwedeng may mga animals sila, pwedeng tumakbo-takbo doon yung kanilang mga animals. Malaki yung lupa, a large land nakalagay, di ba? Secure yung mga tao. Hindi nagugutom. Verse 11, and 600 men of the family of the Danites went from there. So 600 ang nagpunta. From Zorah and Eshtaol, armed with weapons of war. Then they went up and camped at Kirjath Jearim in Judah. Umakyat sila at nagkampo sila sa Kirjath Jearim. Therefore, they call that place Mahane Dan or Camp of Dan. To this day, There it is, west of Kirjath Jearim. Doon sila nagkampo, nag-stay muna for the meantime. 600 men, armed with weapons of war. Verse 13, and they passed from there to the mountains of Ephraim and came to the house of Micah. Lumagpas sila doon, dinaanan nila yung mountains of Ephraim at nadaanan nila yung bahay ni Micah. Verse 14, then the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land of Laish answered and said to their brethren, do you know that there are in these houses an ephod, household idols, a carved image, and a molded image? Now therefore consider what you should do. Yung 5 men na spy, sinabi niya sa kanilang mga kasamahan, alam niyo ba na yung bahay na yon, nakalagay kasi, do you not know that there are in these houses? Kaya alam niyo ba na yung may mga bahay dyan, meron dyan lang ephod. Meron din silang household idols or teraphim. A carved image or inukit ng mga korteng tao o kung ano-ano man. At molded image, may molde na mga imahe na gawa sa bakal or gawa sa silver. Na korteng tao, o image kasi. Now therefore consider what you should do. Ngayon kayo na ang bahalang gumawa ng paraan kung ano dapat na mabuting gawin, no? Verse 15. Kasi kaya nila pinag-interesan yung ephod, household idols, a carved image and a molded image. Kasi ang nag-worship ang mga tao sa Shiloh, ando ng Ark of the Tabernacle ni Almighty Father. Ngayon, gusto nilang magkaroon sila ng sarili nila. Kaya pinag-interesan nila to, na hindi naman ito pinag-uutos ni Almighty Father. Now, therefore, consider what you should do. Verse 15. So, they turned aside there and came to the house of the young Levite man, to the house of Micah, and greeted him. So, nagpunta na sila, no? Na-meet nila ulit yung young Levite man sa bahay ni Micah at binati nila. Verse 16, the 600 men armed with their weapons of war, who were of the children of Dan, stood by the entrance of the gate. So 600 men, weapons of war ang dala-dala nila. Anak ni Dan, or tribe of Dan, nandun sila sa entrance ng gate. Kasi ito ay isang maliit na village. Marami ring mga tao na nakatira maliban sa kay Micah, no? Kaya yung mga tao gusto rin nila yung image at yung shrine ni Micah. Verse 17. Yung mga tao na kasama ni Micah, na hindi lang naman kasi si Micah nandun, may mga malalayo na mga bahay-bahay ganon. Verse 17. Then the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land went up. Entering there, they took the carved image. Yung 5 tao na nag-spy, na nakausap ng Levites, kinuha nila. Di ba dito sa may, sa verse 4 ng Judges chapter 18, kinausap nila si Micah. Ngayon, nung pagkabalik nila, gusto nilang kunin. Then the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land went up. Entering there, they entered the land, the house of the Levite and Micah. They took the carved image, the ephod, the household idols, and the molded image. The priest stood at the entrance of the gate with the 600 men. Yung young Levite, kasama yung 600 men, who were armed with weapons of war. When these went into Micah's house and took the carved image, the ephod, the household gods, and the molded image, the priest said to them, "What are you doing? Anong ginagawa ninyo? Ba't nyo kinukuha yan? Ano bang plano ninyo?" Verse 19, and they said to him, "Be quiet. Put your hand over your mouth. Itakban mo yung bibig mo. Huwag kang magsalita. and come with us. Sumama ka na sa amin. Be a father, a priest to us. Is it better for you to be a priest to the household of one man, or that you be a priest to a tribe and a family in Israel? Sabi ng Danites. Ano, mas mabuti ba na ikaw ay isang priest sa isang household lang, na ng isang tao? O gusto mo na ikaw ay priest ng isang tribe or family in Israel? Ibig sabihin, mas marami kang makukuha, mas maraming benefits. Ito, isang household lang yan, isa kang priest. Maliit lang na ang sakop mo. Ngayon, pag ikaw, kinuha namin itong household gods, tapos yung ephod, at ikaw, kukunin ka rin namin, ikaw na ang magiging priest ng tribe. So, mas malaki ang makukuha mo. Hindi na nila sinabi doon na mas malaki makukuha niya, pero given na yon, ha? Siyempre, dahil tao din itong priest na to, naghangad din siya. Ha? Verse 20, so the priest's heart was glad. Naghangad siya. And he took the ephod, the household idols, the carved image, and took his place among the people. Kinuha niya, hindi naman kanya. Ha? Priest lang siya doon, kinuha niya. Hindi naman kanya. So, it's thievery, pagnanakaw. At yung ninakaw niya, kinaayawan ni Almighty Father. Verse 21, then they turned and departed and put the little ones, the livestock, and the goods in front of them. So, umalis na sila. Yung mga livestock sa harap nila, nilagay. Tapos sila na sa bandang likod. Para kung may aatake man sa kanila, nasa harap na yung mga kukuhanin sa kanila, nasa likod sila, madali na nilang matalo yung mga ang aaway sa kanila. Kaya ganito ang kanilang style. Nasa harap nila yung livestock, little ones, na mga kasama nila, mga mahihina. Ganun pag war, yung mga mahihina nasa harapan, yung mga malalakas nasa likod, no? Ganito rin di ba sa chess, yung mga pawn nasa harap, yung mga kings, yung queens, tsaka yung rook, na di ba nasa likod sila? At sa kahit na anong battle, ganoon ang nangyayari. Di ba pag yung mga general nasa huli? Ang nauuna mga soldiers, yung mga mahihina, no? Verse 22, when they were a good way from the house of Micah, the men who were in the houses near Micah's house gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. Nahabol nila yung children of Dan, yung the men who were in the houses near Micah's house. Dahil itong mga tao na malapit sa bahay ni Micah nakatira din, nag-gather sila para gusto nilang bawiin yung household gods tsaka yung ephod. Dahil sila feeling nila na be-benefit din sila, yung mga kapitbahay ni Micah. Verse 23, and they called out to the children of Dan. So they turned around and said to Micah, what ails you that you have gathered such an army or company? Anong problema? Sabi, what ails you that you have gathered such company? Ang dami-dami ninyo. Anong problema? Sinabi nila kay Micah. Verse 24, so he said, sabi ni Micah, you have taken away my gods or idols which I made, and the priest, and you have gone away. Now, what more do I have? Umalis kayo. Kinuha nyo yung idols ko, pati yung priest ko. Ngayon, anong nang meron ako? How can you say to me what ails you? Bakit nyo sasabing, anong what ails me? Kinuha nyo na nga yung mga gamit ko. May karapatan pa kayo magsalita ng what ails me? Syempre, kinuha nyo yung mga gamit sa Tagalog na. Wicked yung mga anak ni Dan. Ninakaw nila yung bagay na hindi kanila. At ang ninakaw nila ay mga idols pa man din. na walang kwenta, na kinaayawan ni Almighty Father. Verse 25, and the children of Dan said to him, do not let your voice be heard among us. Huwag mong tinataasan kami ng boses. Ha? Do not let your voice be heard among us. Huwag nyo kaming tataasan ng boses. Lest angry men fall upon you. Kung tataasan nyo kami ng boses, magagalit kami sa inyo, and you lose your life with the lives of your household. Mamamatay kayo, papatayin namin kayo. Pag tataasan nyo kami ng boses, nagdadahilan ka pa. Hindi pwede. Then the children of Dan went their way. And when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. Walang nagawa si Micah. Umuwing luhaan si Micah. Dahil nakita niya na malakas ang tribe of Dan. So, pinangwalang bahala na lang niya yung ninakaw sa kanya, pati yung priest niya, pati yung kanyang ephod. Verse 27. So they took the things which Micah had made, and the priest who had belonged to him, and went to Laish. So doon nagstay ang tribe of Dan. Nakuha nila yung Laish. At dadala nila yung mga paraphernalia galing kay Micah na ephod, pati yung mga household gods, pati na yung priest. At nagsettle sa Laish, to a people quiet and secure, and they struck them with the edge of the sword and burned the city with fire. Sinunog yung city ng tribe of Dan. Sinakop nila yung lugar kasi wala naman silang makakaaway doon. Kaya malakas ang kanilang loob. Wala namang nagbabantay sa lugar na yon. Verse 28. There was no deliverer because it was far from Sidon. Malayo kasi sa Sidon yung lugar. And they had no ties with anyone. Kaya madali nilang nasakop ng mga tribe of Dan yung lugar kasi walang deliverer or walang nagro-rule sa land. Malayo sa Sidon at wala silang connection sa kahit anumang mga tribe or clan. It was in the valley that belongs to Beth Rehob, or Rehob, Beth Rehob. So they built or rebuilt the city and dwelt there. Doon sila tumira sa Laish. And they called the name of the city Dan, after the name of Dan, their father, who was born to Israel. However, the name of the city formerly was Laish, or Laish, na meaning a lion. Verse 30. Then the children of Dan set up for themselves the carved image. Yung mga anak ni Dan, gumawa sila ng kanilang sariling altar or sanctuary. At doon nila isinet up yung carved image saka yung molded image. And Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. So si Jonathan na anak ni Gershom, na anak ni Moses, no? Nakalagay dito kasi Moses. Yung Manasseh, Moses din. And his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. Yung day of the captivity of the land, ito yung nasakop sila ng Babylon. Yung panahon ni Nebuchadnezzar. Saan nga bang nakalagay yan? captivity of the land. Kasi hindi sila Judah at Benjamin. Sila ay sakop ng Kingdom of Israel. Nung naging nung nahati yung Israel. So, sakop yung Dan ng Kingdom of Israel. Hindi sila Kingdom of Judah. So they set up for themselves Micah's carved image, which he made all the time that the house of God was in Shiloh. Anong ibig sabihin na itong last verse of Judges chapter 18? Dito sa Joshua chapter 18, now the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh and set up the tabernacle of meeting there, and the land was subdued before them. So yung tabernacle of meeting or Ark of the Covenant nandito sa Shiloh. Kaya sinasabing the house of God was in Shiloh. So nagwo-worship sila sa Shiloh. Nung time nung nangyari itong Judges. After ni Moses, di ba si Joshua? Tapos, nung si Joshua na, dala na yung Ark of the Covenant, dinala nila sa Shiloh. Pero itong tribe of Dan, ninakaw nila yung idols ni Micah. Gumawa sila ng sarili nila. Kasi pag may sarili kang altar, hindi yun pinapayagan ni Almighty Father. Dahil may tendency na go-worship sila ng mga false gods, kaya ng ginagawa ng tribe of Dan. Kaya lang nag-worship ang mga tao nung time ni Jesus. Sabi ng Samaritan woman, sabi ni Jesus, no? Dito sa John chapter 4, verse 23 to 24, but the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father is seeking such to worship Him. God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship in spirit and in truth. So, hindi to pinapayagan ni Almighty Father, itong ginawa ng tribe of Dan, na kinuha nila yung carved image. Kasi, nung time na to, yung house of God nasa Shiloh. Ngayon, yung mga tao nag-worship sa Shiloh. Tapos, dito naman sa Joshua chapter 22, gumawa yung si Reuben, si Gad, at saka yung half the tribe of Manasseh ng replika ng altar. Pero hindi naman nila winorship yung altar, kundi yun lang ay witness. Na ibig sabihin nun, they were also children of Israel. Ano lang yun? Structure lang yun, hindi dun sila nag-worship. Nakalagay ito sa Joshua chapter 22 verses 10 to 18. Ngayon, paano na yung mga tao ay nag-worship sa Jerusalem? Naging center of worship yung Jerusalem, nasa Shiloh. Nangyari ito nung sinakop na ng Babylon and Assyria yung lugar. So nawala sa Shiloh yung tabernacle. At nailagay sa Jerusalem nung time ni Ezra chapter 3 and up to 8. Basahin yan, nabasa na natin yan, di ba? Galing sila from captivity from Babylon and Assyria. Pinabalik sila, Persia, and then pinabalik sila, ang naging center na ay Jerusalem. Doon ginawa yung temple of the Holy God. So, yun ang temple, di ba? Yung Jerusalem. At yung Jerusalem na rin, at yung temple na yun ng Jerusalem, doon nagtuturo si Jesus Christ. Ngayon, Di ba sabi ni Jesus Christ dito sa John chapter 4, darating ang oras. The hour is coming and now is when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is speaking such to worship Him. God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship in spirit and in truth. So, saan tayo ngayon magpe-pray? Hindi tayo kailangan pa magpunta ng temple. Hindi na natin kailangan pa ng altar. Hindi na tayo kailangan pa magpunta ng Jerusalem. Dahil when Jesus Christ died on the cross, when He gave His last breath, yung curtain ng temple sa Jerusalem, na rift, no, from top to bottom. So, ibig sabihin nun, hindi na doon mag-worship sa temple sa Jerusalem ang mga tao. Saan na mag-worship? Saan na ang temple ni Almighty Father? Worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. Hindi na kailangan pa ng temple. Ano ang church? Tayo ang church. Ang temple natin, yung hearts natin. Naintindihan na natin? So, nung time na to, nung time ng Judges, kailangan nila ng temple. Nung time ni Ezra, tsaka ni Nehemiah, kailangan nila ng temple visualization. Nung dumating na si Jesus Christ, tinanggal na lahat yon. Dahil nga, si Jesus Christ, He died for all men, Gentiles or Jews. Kaya tayo, masisave na rin tayo. Because of Jesus Christ. Hindi tayo dapat mag-worship ng idols. Nawala yung tribe ni Dan sa Book of Revelation. Sino ang pamalit? Tribe ni Manasseh and tribe ng Levites. Wala yung tribe ni Dan, wala yung tribe ni Ephraim. Ano ang kasalanan ng tribe ni Dan? Bakit wala yung tribe ni Dan? Idolatry. Bakit wala yung tribe ni Ephraim? Pride. Ano ang kailangan ni Almighty Father? Anong hinahanap niya sa mga tao? But this is the one to whom I will look. Humble, contrite in spirit, and trembles at my word. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 2. Mapagkumbaba, remorseful, at takot sa salita ni Almighty Father. May takot, may respeto kay Almighty Father. Utos na utos ni Almighty Father. Mahalin siya. Kung mahal natin yung tatay natin, hindi niya pinag-uutos ang idolatry. He abhors idolatry. It's an abomination. Kahit pa ephod ang ginaya or ginamit ng tribe of Dan, hindi pa rin yung dapat sambahin. Walang image na pwedeng sambahin o hawakan or dun ka magtitiwala sa image or kahit na sinong tao. Sino pagtitiwalaan natin? Si Almighty Father. Si Jesus Christ. Nang sa ganon, masave tayo, makuha natin ang ating inheritance. Yung tribe of Dan, sa Book of Revelation, ulitin ko, wala yung name nila. At ang ibig sabihin din ito, na pwede kang magtiwala kay Almighty Father, pero kung hindi mo siya sinusunod, diligently, hindi mo sinusunod yung kanyang mga directives, yung kanyang laws, yung commandments, ano ang gagawin ni Jesus Christ? Buburahin ang name sa Lamb's Book of Life. Kaya wala ang name ni Ephraim. Kaya wala ang name ni Dan. Ulitin ko, yung itong si Micah, tribe of Ephraim. Ito, nagnakaw ng idols, tribe of Dan. Sino ang wala sa Book of Revelation na tribe? Tribe of Ephraim and tribe of Dan. Ngayon, alam na natin kung bakit wala ang tribe of Ephraim and tribe of Dan. Idolatry and pridefulness of the people. Kailangan ni Almighty Father ng mga tao na nagmamahal sa Kanya. pinaprioritize siya, nirespeto siya, at naniniwala sa kanyang salita. At naniniwala kay Jesus Christ dahil ang utos ni Almighty Father. Anong utos? Maniwala kay Jesus Christ. This is my son. He is my son. Believe Him. Maniwala tayo na si Jesus Christ ay pinadala niya. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. At kaya maniniwala tayo kay Jesus Christ because yun ang utos sa atin ni Almighty Father, and Jesus Christ's name was exalted by the Almighty Father above all names. Hebrews chapter 1, basahin nyo, ulit-ulitin ninyo, baka hindi nyo naiintindihan. At kung hindi nyo maintindihan, veiled, the gospel is veiled, so veiled is perishing. Those who are veiled is perishing. Saan nga yun? Hindi ko kabisado. Those who are veiled are perishing, sorry. For 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3 to 6. But even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. Kung yung gospel ay hindi mo maintindihan, blind ka. Blind yung mga tao na papunta na sa destruction or sa kapahamakan or sa kamatayan, whose minds of the God of this age has blinded. Sino nagbulag? God of this age. Sino yung God of this age? Who do not believe, lest the light of the gospel of the glory of God, or of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine on them. Si Jesus Christ, image of God. Kung image of God, si Jesus Christ, He is also God. Worship Jesus. Worship the Almighty Father. Worship the Holy Spirit. God loves us all so much.